Here, I just want to share a bit. I think most of us have very familiar about what active learning is. So a few methods on how active learning can be conducted. But I'll just focus on one, which is about note checking. So generally, note checking is just about to perform the checks on the notes that is delivered or provided by students. So typically what I have done in the class is mostly to actually give a very short question, and then from there, actually, the students will try to submit the following the answers that's been raised during the class, and then in the upcoming lesson, I will discuss about the solution and also to feedback on the questions that's being, the answer is being given by the students. So here are some of the examples. So the first one is about, this one, the content is not very important. I just extract it from one of the notes. So after giving some of the statements here, and then what I do is I will just indicate one question here in red. It's just to give them as a question for them to try to think about, what is the answer they're supposed to give, and then these are what responses are given. From the responses given, so what I do is I try to look each of the solution and then see what are the keywords are being written, and then to see whether the solution written is what I want or not, or whether it is different from what I intended for. So here what I do is in the next task, I will try to provide what is the actual solution and give the feedback on the respective solution. So secondly is about here is a second example about giving them questions about the derivation. About the question asked, where do they write the answer? So usually I create a Microsoft Forms for them, and then what are the primary barrier, and then ask them to explain in simple sentences, and then from there they can respond the answer. So this question is more of like the derivation. So here what do I do is actually to give them this equation, and then give them this diagram, and then after that they try to submit the response here. So this part is the guided type of then how should they approach the question, and ask them to actually show the intermediate step. So these are some of the example of the response given by students. And then the third example is also relating to this type of question, where this one, what do I do is actually in the class, so I just give a simple example and then give them a bit of time to actually submit. So this is the third example. So the fourth example is about the evaporation. So what do I do is actually I try to explain two different approaches to solve this particular question, and then one approach will be discussed in the class, and then the second approach will be left as a homework for students to try at home so that they can understand this question more easily. So generally, this is how the students actually give their answer. So for the students who actually give wrong answer, so what do I do is I actually try to point out what is the error that is actually made by the student, and I send the script back to the student so that they actually know what is the part is wrong. So, and at the end of the class, actually I try to explain some of the SSRT that is actually raised by students. So I think that's all for me. So thank you everyone.